The Eagles are prepping to travel to Metlife to take on the Giants this weekend, and Saquon Barkley is getting ready for a revenge game of the ages. Meanwhile, Howie Roseman may have just finessed the entire NFL with a sneaky trade clause. We'll reveal the details of that. Also, Quinyon Mitchell is officially a young superstar for the Philadelphia Eagles, and one crazy offensive stat shows the number one thing this team must improve to get the offense back on track this weekend. We will get into it all, but of course, welcome into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Do us a huge favor. Go down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this coverage. I want to start it off with a couple injury updates that are crucial for this Eagles team. Jeff McLane reports earlier today that Dallas Goedert could be out for a few weeks. Another brutal blow for the Eagles offense. They need their ammunition. They need to get things back aligned, and Dallas Goedert is a huge part of this offense. They should use him more than they do, but when they do use him, he goes out there and balls out. But unfortunately, now as you look at the career of Dallas Goedert, since his rookie season, he has missed games every single year, and keep in mind the whole contract situation is coming up. So Eagles will definitely have a tough decision to make, but for now, they need him to get back on the field. Grant Calcaterra had a couple nice catches last week, and now the Philadelphia Eagles have also opened the practice window for Albert O. So the Eagles will look anywhere that they can find talent and really just some help for this team. Jeff McLane also says that Darius is trending towards being good to go for Sunday. So we'll see if the Eagles have their full secondary intact. But keeping it on the defensive side of the ball, we need to talk about something that came out yesterday. Howie Roseman might, in fact, be a genius. I know he's getting a lot of heat right now for the Bryce Huff signing and for some of the recent draft picks who don't seem to be panning out. Defense is kind of like a light switch right now. On, off, on, off. They can't really have a consistent flow of a couple games, but they might be getting some reinforcements, right? I wanted the Eagles to trade for Haason Reddick a couple weeks ago, and then an article came out where they detailed that apparently there was some kind of clause in the trade where Reddick could not be traded back to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if that is because he's not suiting up and playing at all, but overall, it doesn't seem like there's a possibility or an avenue for Reddick to get back to the Eagles, but a trade could still help Philly. This is a new report from Josina Anderson. She says in other Jets headlines, the Eagles will get a 2026 second round pick from the Jets if Haason Reddick gets traded to an NFC team per sources. That is the other quote unquote condition involved in the trade for Reddick to the Jets that was newly reported in the tweet below 2 weeks ago. So again, 2 weeks ago, reports came out. Apparently, it is not possible for Haason Reddick to get back to Philly. I wish it was. Eagles desperately need more help on the edge. I'm sure they'll probably address that in the coming weeks before the trade deadline. But if Haason Reddick goes to an NFC team and gets traded, Eagles get almost like a compensatory pick in the second round in 2026. So that could end up being a huge asset. It could also kind of help recoup some of the picks that they've given up in other trades, even like Jahan Dotson right now, who they actually sent out a third round pick for. And a lot of people have brought that up with the Devontae Adams trade and the Amari Cooper trade. They're saying, why did the Eagles give up a third round pick for Jahan Dotson if he's not going to be used at all in the offense? Very fair point. We'll see if he can develop more and get more used to the Eagles playbook, but this would be a huge asset for the Eagles to get back if Haason Reddick is traded. So I guess in a way we are rooting now for him to get traded to the NFC. There's a lot of deeper information that lies and doesn't really get put out. That's what we're realizing here in the last couple weeks. So maybe there's a couple other clauses as well, but good work by Howie Roseman for putting this in, almost like a protection, right? If you're going to trade him back to a conference where we're probably going to have to play him at some point in the season or playoffs, then you might as well reward us with a pick. Now, we have a big game upcoming this weekend, the New York Giants, MetLife. The Eagles cannot lose this game. I really believe that this is going to be one of those generational Saquon games. Like, I think he's going for 2 or 3 touchdowns. He said today that he does not expect to be booed by the Giants fans. And to be honest, I don't see why they would or why they should, right? I know he went to the division rival, but we saw the Hard Knocks clips. We saw all of the videos. They didn't want to give him what he was worth. You see what Saquon's done for Philly so far. He's been very valuable and even more than expected. And he's one of the best backs in the entire game. He has done everything. He's sacrificed so much for the Giants fan base. And he literally tried to go back. He admitted, he said, I wanted to go back to New York pretty much until they lowballed me. So Saquon wanted to go back. They didn't offer him, and he took the most money he could get and went to a good situation in Philly, or at least kind of a good situation, better than New York for sure. And I don't think he should be booed. But regardless, we know the Eagles can play well against the Giants, and we know Saquon is going to try to get a little bit revenge. It always happens in your first game against your former team. And keeping it on the offensive side, Nick Sirianni talked about their focuses as an offense. They have a lot to fix right now, and he says they were focused on not turning the ball over during the bye week. He doesn't want to go into details for competitive reasons, but he feels the things they implemented to help the problem were successful versus Cleveland. I'm not really sure that they can implement too much. It's more of the quick decision making, right? The instincts of Jalen Hurts as a quarterback in the pocket or roaming out. So I don't know what they implemented here. It almost feels like Nick's trying to kind of take credit for that. But at the end of the day, it seems like they worked on some things offensively. They have a lot more work to do. All the talk right now, the talk of the town, even the talk of the national media right now is Nick Sirianni and his antics and what he did after the game the other day. So nobody even seems to be focused on the actual football. And we still need to see a complete game from this Eagles team. And, I've seen a lot of comments, especially in recent days, saying, well, we're being too negative and we're being hard because they're 3-2. Look, man, when they play better teams, it is going to come back to haunt them if they don't correct the things they are doing wrong. And they have to get out to an early lead. They have to score. And what is one way they end up scoring? By using the middle of the field. We showed that chart yesterday from Eagles versus Browns where Jalen Hurts only threw like 3 or 4 passes over the middle of the field in general for the entire game. Here's what Kurt Warner said on Twitter about the Eagles offense. He says, it's fascinating to me that through 3 different coordinators, the pass concepts run by the Eagles remains primarily the same. I would not expect that, especially this year with Kellen Moore, but maybe it is more about the quarterback than the coordinator in that respect. Now, I don't know exactly who he's talking about. Is he including Shane Steichen here? I think Shane Steichen had a brilliant offense. I mean, go back to 22. Every receiver was schemed open. The Eagles were blowing teams out. Jalen was playing like an MVP. I think the point about not having that continuity is very important. I think it is hard trying to adapt from system to system to system, but I think there's one common denominator here. It's Nick Sirianni's offense. It's Nick Sirianni's team. They don't have a lot of creativity. We didn't see it at all last year. We haven't seen it this year. And with the weapons, the kind of powerful, dynamic weapons that they have on this offense, they should be scoring 30 to 35 points per game. Matter of fact, they shouldn't be the only team after week 6 that doesn't have a point in the first quarter of a game. So they need to figure this out. I agree that it looks very eerily similar to last year, and I hope Kellen Moore gets more control with this offense and the design. And Patrick here on Twitter says that Jalen Hurts has thrown to the middle of the field on only 8% of his dropbacks the entire season, which ranks dead last in the NFL. The next closest is 15%. This doesn't mean he's bad, but it is an issue. Now, is this more on Jalen and his vision? Is this more on the play calls and the routes being ran? What is it? Maybe it's a combination, but there are some times where Jalen does miss receivers open over the middle, but I always say it. Every post-game show I say, why do they not utilize the middle of the field? Like you have Dallas Goedert, you have AJ, you have Devontae who can go in the slot, and even Saquon out of the backfield. There's so many weapons that can expand this offense, and it almost feels like you have all of the tools in the bag. You have an entire toolbox, an entire collection, and you're only using the same 2 tools for the entire game every single week. So something needs to happen. There needs to be some kind of shakeup. Just, use the middle of the field. Get these guys schemed open, little mesh concepts, whatever it is. Get these guys open, man. And I really think this Eagles offense can perform better on first down and second down and not be in unfavorable third down situations all the time and just really balance this thing out, right? And leave defenses confused. Like become more of an unpredictable offense. It's way too predictable right now. Feels like they run the same 10 to 15 plays the entire game, and it's just not a formula for success. So that stat is very concerning. We'll end it off with a young Eagles superstar, Quinyon Mitchell, according to PFF, 8 forced incompletions this season, tied for 3rd in the NFL. He has at least 1 in every single game. So Darius Slay could be on the regression train right now, but Quinyon Mitchell is climbing up the mountain. Cooper DeJean had an amazing first start as a Philadelphia Eagle. These two could be the future of this defense, of this secondary. I've been so impressed, not only with the play on the field, but his demeanor as well. He's hungry. He's motivated. He wants it. And I'm expecting more greatness out of Quinyon Mitchell moving forward. And hopefully this Eagles defense can replicate the success that they had this past week. We'll see what happens. What are your early thoughts and impressions on the Eagles versus Giants? Can the Birds get a win? Will they correct some of the things going wrong right now? Give me all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you on the next one. Also, real quick, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor of today's video. It is the great BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using our code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlays, live bets, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Download the app today. Please gamble responsibly.